in Mantra Yoga Studio. And here we are.
Yo.
You know.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm good. So it's called movement practice. When I think of the word exercise, I usually think of like a gym, barbell, weights, all this stuff. So it kind of brings my mind to something particular. Movement kind of expands that, and I love exploring human movement in through all its ranges. So it kind of gives me some freedom. And why practice? Because within practice, there's a progression typically. So any move, I can make it harder or I can make it easier, right? So it does, it's kind of a conversation that we're having together through movement, and verbally you can tell me, this is too hard, I can make it easier. This is too easy, okay, I can make it a little challenging. If you want a challenge, you can go there. The other thing with practice is that it kind of implies there's going to be mistakes, and that's okay, and we can have fun with those mistakes. And within that practice, I find there's playfulness. And so within mistakes and progression, we find playfulness and we find community that we can play together. And so I guess with that being said, we'll get into the practice. I'll have you seated or laying down on your back to start. So one leg's going to start straightening towards the ground, and the opposite arm is going to reach overhead. So you're kind of just rolling slightly until you feel like you want to fall to the ground, but not let yourself fall. So think of like a beetle or like a bug that's on its back and it kind of squirms its legs in the air. And as you rock forward, try to keep the elbows straight. The tendency might be to bend as you go forward, or you can step across and switch, right? And then you can kind of go back and forth. And again, as I said, there's progressions, so you can get more playful with it, right? In this position, we finally land. We give ourselves permission to let go and to soak in all the wonderful nourishment that we just gave our body. And that's exactly what movement is. It's nourishment for the body, nourishment for the mind, nourishment for the soul. So tonight I taught a movement class called Movement Practice at Mantra Yoga in Thornbury. Movement practice is a combination of yoga, strength training, kind of different influences, essentially moving. And practice, we're practicing to something more, whether that's a higher level of movement or just reaching a higher level of self, essentially. It's just a class to move and play and have the community come together. All right.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, the inspiration from movement practice essentially came from my background. I grew up playing baseball at a competitive level, playing for Team Canada and going to school in the States on scholarship. And eventually I decided to move on from playing baseball. And I didn't really know what to do with my time. I was so used to training all the time. And so I just started spending my hours of the day in the gym. And I would go to the gym probably 5-6 times a week, training, pumping iron. And essentially at some point it dawned on me, I'm like, I'm basically bodybuilding right now, right? So I might as well compete, right? So I spent about a year training for a bodybuilding competition, and I placed first in my regional show.
Nice.
I placed second in provincial show. I was shredded. I could wash clothes on my abs, whatever. Guys were calling me out in the stands as being the glute guy because I had striations in my glutes. Anyways, after that experience, you'd think that achieving this kind of peak physique, so to speak, you'd be left feeling on top of the world. But in reality, it was the opposite. I felt essentially broken. I felt empty, and I was wondering where to go.
Right.
I no longer really knew what my direction in life should be, and bodybuilding wasn't fulfilling that. But I knew movement was a fundamental component of what I wanted to do in the present and the future, and so I've continued to kind of explore that and deepen it through yoga and personal training and really any kind of movement practice I can get myself into. And now I'm just interested in creating a community based around movement that we can just have fun and play together and experience the potential of the human body.
That's great. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.